Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we're talking about all the massive releases that have just been dropping left, right and centre over the last couple of weeks. And there's some exciting ones. So we're going to cover all that. Also, not only have we got loads to discuss, but I've got a load more parts that have turned up. So in this episode, we're going to cover all that, and then we're going to unbox this and check out what goodies I've got. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. New vintage stuff's coming out. New vintage stuff's coming. Sorry about that. With some big names dropping some new vintage kits. So I thought this would be a good time to really talk about vintage RC boom. So going on the current releases that have just been dropped over the last few weeks, I'm pretty safe to say that this is the most busiest time for vintage RC releases that I can remember since I've started the channel. We've just had the Kuroshio Phantom CRC2 that just dropped. We also had the Ultimate JJ87 replica that's just dropped. We've now got a lineup of cars that are coming out up to Christmas and just over Christmas of the Kuroshio Mid prototype. Big hitting car. Team Associated this week just dropped the RC10cc Clear. Now that is a big one, but we'll come on to that again in a little while. Yokomo Super Dogfighter YZ870cc, that's coming out. Haven't seen any pictures of that. Bit worried about that, but we'll come on to that in a little while. Then we've got the Tamiya Hotshot 2 Standard Edition that a lot of people have been pushing for ages, and we've also got the Super Sabre that I know a lot of people really wanted to get their hands on. So the choices are massive at the moment, and that's just what we know now. But going into 2024, one thing that concerns me a little bit is the Yokomo Dogfighter. Now, obviously that information was leaked and it caught them off guard, but at the show a couple of weeks ago, they didn't have a prototype, they just had a single plaque. Being that this car is supposed to be in its boxes and shipped out by the end of the year, and we haven't seen a single image for it. Nothing. No prototype images, nothing, which is a little bit concerning that this could slide into next year, which would be a real shame. Especially if the Team Associated RC10 is released. Everyone's going to go and put their money into that, and maybe the people that were going to save some of their money to get the Yokomo. Also, when you take into account that it's £319 in the UK and probably about the same in US dollars, that's pretty good going against some of the more expensive kits. Now, I put out a post asking you to vote on the most popular kit for the year and which one you're going to get. And yeah, the RC10cc came out of nowhere and absolutely smashed it to the top of that list, pushing down some of the other kits that were kind of desirable, but a lot of you have decided that you want to get this instead. So that's really interesting for as we move into 2024. Are we going to see more and more competition in releases for vintage RC? Oh, I hope so. Now, some of you did comment that being that it's a clear one, really this is focused towards Shelf Queen collectors and new in-box collectors, and you're really disappointed that you're not getting a gold pan standard one because you want to take it out and run it. Now, you could argue that Team Associated have been for a long time saying we're not doing any vintage re-releases again after releasing the Worlds and the gold pan quite a few years ago, and then not selling that well as the vintage market hadn't matured. So if this one sells as well as I think it's going to, then that's a big wake-up call for Team Associated, and I'm pretty sure, being that they've got all the tooling for the RC10, it would be really easy for them to then drop a gold pan again that you can pick one up if you want to take it driving. So for all the people that complained, you need to thank the new in-box collectors and the Shelf Queen collectors, because if they buy all those, you're going to get what you wanted. Well, that's not going to be very popular, is it? So with all these releases coming out up to Christmas 2023, what can we say about 2024? Well, I'm kind of excited for this one. Now that we've got some more manufacturers like Yokomo and Team Associated dropping vintage cars, I'm pretty sure they're going to sell well, so we may see more from them. Yokomo has got a whole backlog of vintage racers that we could see, which would sell really well. And Team Associated, well, they're exactly the same. So hopefully the CC, the RC10cc and the Super Dogfighter is going to sell better than they expected, which will then spur them on to release more cars. So hopefully in 2024, that's what we're going to see. As for like Tamiya, I think this is a good thing for Tamiya, as it may spur them on to release more of the kits that we're actually after, as just dripping out random RCs that they want to produce is a bit frustrating as a consumer, as they've got some beautiful cars that I would love to see, like the Dynastorm, the King Cab, that kind of thing, the Falcon, the Porsche 959. So hopefully the feedback from all the distributors and resellers for Tamiya back to Tamiya Japan is, hey, we need to release more desirable kits, as the market has become more competitive and it is hot. So as a consumer, I think this is always going to be a good thing. Also, seeing that the Team Associated coming in at £319, I think that's a bit more realistic from a price point, as some of these kits have been creeping up higher and higher. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Kyosho. £400 for a two-wheel drive buggy indeed. So hopefully with the extra kits in the market, we might see some sales, as kits that are maybe not quite as desirable sit on the shelves and don't shift. The big sort of elephant in the room that leads us into 2024 is obviously the cost of living crisis that we're still going through. So being that there's so many kits available, it's very difficult to just agree that I'm going to buy them all. You have to pick and choose. And I think that's what's going to happen, is the ones that are the most desirable are still going to fly off the shelves, but ones that maybe aren't quite as popular will just sit on the shelves, whereas in previous years they would have still sold. Comment below, let me know, do you think I'm correct, or am I talking total garbage? Vintage racing is now becoming a bigger thing. At my local track, I've seen more people bringing vintage racing buggies, and that whole sort of group is slowly growing. Also, if you look at things like the Revival, how massive they've got, but this is brilliant because re-release vintage cars are a lot easier to race than very old vintage cars that getting parts for is really difficult. The classic example of that is the Cougar from Schumacher Racing, the XLS, the Procat. These are all turning up on tracks now, as the plastics are newer and replacement parts are available, so it's not an absolute nightmare to run stuff, because when you break things it can be really expensive trying to find that rare part that's just not available anymore. Right, let's open up the goodies that I've been waiting for. Now, yeah, this is not the first take, so I've already opened it, but just go with it. So the things I've picked up are for my SV2. I did a unboxing of this about a week and a half ago, and I started restoring it. Well, there was a load of parts that I needed, so I've ordered some. And as in true Gav fashion, I've ordered more than I should. I actually found an optional chassis for it from Schumacher, so I picked that up. So we're going to put a different chassis on it. Now, the reason for my thinking and my justification of why I spent the money on this is it's an option that's from the manufacturer. So down the road, hopefully that will make this one more desirable, having that chassis, because that chassis will obviously discontinued. You won't be able to get it very soon. The chassis that's currently on this car is pretty good, but when the electronics were removed from it, it looks like it was gouged trying to get the ESC off of it. So it has got a big scratch through it. So I kind of talked myself into that one, that putting a new chassis on it will make it a little bit more desirable and get rid of that scratch. Then I got the bottom tray. So this is U5105. Oh, and the chassis was U4128. 128. Next, I picked up a new set of decals, as obviously I'm going to send off the body to be professionally painted. What else did we get? Then we picked up two sets of arms, U4098. These are the medium flex, and U4054, which again is the medium flex, front and rear, because the ones that are on the car have got some damage to them where it's been driven. Then I picked up, this is, what is this? U3694, and that is the rear bumper, because that's obviously got some damage on it as well. Then I picked up the front bulkhead, which is U3689. Oh, sorry, bottom plate it's called, for the SV2, because obviously that had some road rash on it as well. Then I picked up U3690 front bumper, again because of the road damage. So all those, swapping those over, should put it back to Shelf Queen status. It's got no damage underneath, which is some weird thing that I really like, that when I turn over my cars, there's no damage underneath them if they're Shelf Queens. Yeah. Also, the one that kind of spurred me to order all this, and one I've been waiting for quite a long time, that's finally come back into stock, U2365. That is the purple alloy pivot blocks for Cougars and Cougar 2s. These have been out for ages, so I picked up a set of those. These have been out so long that someone actually made me a set. So I'll put that set on my actual racing buggy, and these beauties will go into my Cougar 2 restoration. So chuffed to get those. I've been waiting on those for ages. And yeah, so that's the SV2 covered. But in here, I have waited weeks for this. There's people in America that ordered the same time as me that were unboxing them about 4 days before I got them. So yeah, this took the best part of 8 to 9 days to get from Germany to the UK. So yeah, but they're here now. So where's my scalpel? These sold out in the 3 days. There was 333 of these, and it's the Tamico 15th anniversary. And I had picked up 2 of them. Now the reason I have 2 is because when you buy from Tamico, you have a limit that you've got to get to before they'll ship to you in the UK. And it just so happens that 2 of these just about got you across the line. So I didn't really want to, but that's what it took if I actually wanted to get one, and I wanted to build one on the show. And then the kind of plan was, well, I'll put it in the collection, but I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build one on the show. So we'll do a build video of one and it will go in the collection, and I'm actually going to raffle off the second one. So you can win this. I'll put a link in the description. For basically £2 anywhere in the world, you have the chance to win this. Now I've got limited edition number 118 of 333 and 117, I think it is 117. They are totally sold out, so they'll never be made again. And they're only going to go up and up in desirability. So I'll link in the description. So if you don't know and you've been living under a rock, these were released last week, nearly 2 weeks ago now, and it's to celebrate the 50th anniversary. Now it's a Tamiya kit. So what happens is Tamico buy 333 of a kit from Tamiya, then they change them and they modify them. Now they did this on the Porsche 934 that I've actually built on the show, and they've done it again. That was the 10th anniversary, this is the 15th. So underneath here is a normal kit from Tamiya, and it's the triple wheel T3-01 chassis. Then what happens is Tamico, they do a new cover for it that goes on the side and the front, and then they cover it in the film to hold it on. So once you open it up, that comes off. And inside, they've already opened them up, and they put things like different decals that they've made. Then they purchase like different wheels from Tamiya and they put those in, and then they have the bodies done for you. This is actually done like in a silver to make it different. So that's what they've done to celebrate their 15th. And then they number each one so that you can tell which one you got from the 333. Now these are really for collectors. They're the kind of thing that people get up, you know, purchase this, put it on the shelf. They don't really build them. So yeah, you have a chance to win one. So shall we open one up and take a look at it, what you get inside? Just before we dive into this beautiful RC, if I could just ask you to take 2 seconds, if you've watched the videos and you've watched a few and you enjoy it, to hit that subscribe button. 58.6% of you that watch the channel aren't even subscribed. It costs you absolutely nothing. And being that we're such a small RC channel, every new subscriber really helps the algorithm find our content and push it out to more RC fans like you. Right, let's open this up, and it feels like ages since I purchased this, as it took just so long to get to me in the UK. But I'm itching to open this one up, and it will be back on the show soon when we build it. Shouldn't be too easy to put this one together. It's pretty straightforward, simple little RC. Now as you can see, the actual cover that Tamico produce is just a sort of front and side with the limited edition number on it. You definitely want to keep that bit is the rare part. Obviously the box is standard from Tamiya, but what they've done is they've put the parts inside that are different. So some of them have obviously been purchased from Tamiya, but some they've actually had done themselves. So the body is still polycarbonate, but it's actually been done in chrome. It looked gorgeous. Now you could replicate this if you got some mirror paint, and these wheels are standard wheels from Tamiya, so you could probably get those as well. Tyres, standard stuff, just come from the kit as normal. They haven't been modified in any way. And then we got our first trees. Now the kit itself is all standard Tamiya. They haven't actually changed any of the plastics or anything like that, like you saw in the Jun Watanabe Hornet. So it's not a full-on modified kit. It's just been changed slightly. The driver is standard. You can get this driver from anywhere. Being that this is a simple three-wheel trike, it's not a in-depth massive build, so you can probably put this together in just a few hours. You've got your A, B and C bags, nothing special. Obviously you will need to get some bearings as well, as I don't think this one has any bearings in it. Now it comes with a little motor, but I have actually got an upgraded motor for it, so I'm going to put that in it as well. I don't plan on driving this much. We will drive it a little bit just to see how it goes before I put it on the shelf, but since I had it in my parts bin, I thought, hey, why not use it on this kit? Standard parts for this kit. It's a shame they didn't change some of the colours. Maybe doing some of these in the chrome would have been nice as well. Now I can understand why Tamico did something like this, as it's their 15th anniversary, so it's not a full-blown anniversary like they did a big 10th anniversary of Porsche 934, and I'm pretty sure when it gets to the 20th anniversary there'll be another big one. So this is kind of like a half. So that's why they went for something like this. Now the decals, that's the part that they've actually done themselves and had made, so that's the rare part. I'm not sure whether anybody's going to be able to offer copies of those down the line. I would hope so, and the manual's pretty standard as well. So there's a first look at the Tamico 15th anniversary Dancing Rider Custom. Now between you and me, I may have put down quite a few orders for all these cars coming for Christmas so that I could bring them on the show and make content for you. As you can imagine, this is getting really expensive. Don't tell Rebecca. So if you'd really like to help out the show and be within a chance to win this, head over to the RCKicks raffle, link in the description. It will be shipped all the way to your door for free, and it's worldwide. And if that doesn't work out, I guess it's OnlyFans page, and no one really wants that. Thanks very much. See you on the next one. Bye bye.